Welcome to lesson 3 of learning Matlab. And in this one, we're going to actually do some linear algebra. When we made t, it was sort of implicit how we make a vector. So you can make a vector in a lot of ways. So I'm going to make x equals 1 to 10, right? X equals 1 to 10, 1 to 2's 10. Right? So you can either have one colon and it counts as an index, or you can have an increment by in the middle. So that's how you can make a vector of a certain array. To make a matrix, you can say A equals open brackets, just like we did with Z, right? And columns are separated by spaces. Semicolons separate rows, and I'll show you how that works. So if I say 1, 3 in the first row and 4, 6 in the second row, that's so space is so colon means go down one row, where if we just had A equals 1 to 3 prime space 4 to 6 prime equals, close square braces. So space separates columns, and semicolon has new rows, right? So semicolon means go back and do a new row, and space means okay, go one column over. So that's how you can construct an array, a matrix, filling up data points in Matlab. And of course, you can do it. Now, the one thing to remember is if you go 4 through 7, right? If you have 1 through 3 on the top and 4 through 7 on the bottom, it freaks out because all the rows and all the columns have to be the same size, right? So that's a detail there. And you can just fill it in. You don't have to use colons to do this. You can say A equals 1, 5, 8, 9, 2, 3, 5, 6. You can just enter numbers directly. So numbers separated by spaces, 1 space 5 goes over, space 8 goes over, space 9 goes over, semicolon, new line, 2, then space 3, 1 column over, then 5, 1 column over, then 6, 1 column over, separated by spaces. So that's how you make a matrix in Matlab. Square braces, spaces, and semicolons. And filling in range and filling in series of numbers is using colons and double colons if you want to do the increment by part. Okay, so that's one part of it. I'm going to do clear, get it all done, CLC, get that all done. And so now I'm going to go to the handout. And the handout starts with this very, very simple two equations, two unknown problems. Here's the two equations. X plus 2y is 5. 5x minus y is equal to 3. What's the solution? Well, it wouldn't take very long for you to just do back substitution, or I guess you could do single value decomposition of a 2x2 matrix if you wanted to, and figure out the values of x and y. This is something that every engineer could do, and you can certainly do it on your calculator, right? So you can do this. How do we do this in Matlab? So this is two equations, two unknowns. And one way to write this is with 6 big capital letters as the constants of the thing, and then x and y, but that's really not how most people write it. How most people write it is this linear algebra notation, where A times x, all in big matrix formats, AX equals B, A dot X equals B. And A is a 2x2 matrix, where there's A11, that's equal to 1, and A12, that's equal to 2, and A21 is equal to 5, and A22 is equal to minus 1. And then x1 is equal to x in this case, and x2 is equal to y in this case. And then b1 is 5, and b2 is 3. So this is linear algebra notation, right? And so you can just, that's the way it goes. So So let's set up A and B and solve for X, right? Let's set up A and B and solve for X in Matlab. You ready? So A equals 1, 2, 5 minus 1. That's A11, A12, A21, A22. B equals, square braces, 5 colon 3. Now to solve for X, it's really easy. A backslash B. Wow. That was quick and easy. It's really easy to solve linear equations, linear unknowns, right? Right? And now that was 2 by 2. Guess what? It works for 50 by 50. Now, it takes a long time to do 50 by 50, and Matlab has all these algorithms deep embedded to figure out the right one, and maybe you might need to use a function instead of backslash. But backslash is the solution to if ax equals b, and you know a and b, x is equal to a backslash b. That's how you solve it. So that's just, I'm doing the same thing as in there, right? And I even said wow in the handout. So that's a new, so we learned a new thing. We learned how to do matrix solving linear equations with the backslash. We learned how to set up linear equations by making A and B certain ways and solve for X. So that's pretty cool. That's the end of this lesson, and next time we're going to get into some other stuff for MATLAB.